So, uh, so collectively, I've reviewed 60 albums from an artist that I obviously respect a lot. What did I learn? Going through and listening to everything once again. Well, like I said at one point, it was a lot like hearing some of this for the first time. Sometimes it was just a specific track, like Sandcastles on Paradise Hawaiian Style, that I never really paid attention to. Sometimes it was entire albums that would be opened up to me, and I would see it in a different light because I had, for some reason, just not heard it in that configuration, or I had written it off, or I had just not paid attention to it. And it's been a learning experience. And I hope it's been a learning experience for you guys. I don't have, obviously I haven't fact-checked much of this. There's been a lot of ums and ahs and I thinks. It's been interesting to go through and hear all of the recordings again. I had familiarized myself with his career in such a way that I thought I knew it better than I did, and I've found kind of a newfound appreciation, and I'm grateful because there's a project that I'm working on that's related to Elvis in the near future. Not just Blue Suede reviews, but there's another project coming up. And while I was initially hesitant on buying this and listening to it, you know, I kind of wondered why. What's the point when you have all this music? Because I do have pretty much all this music, not necessarily in the same quality, and certainly not in such a beautiful set or a beautiful configuration of the original album set. But I basically have had all the music, or had access to all of the music for quite some time now. But there was value in doing that. And so 39 years later, after Moody Blue came out, and after Elvis passed away, and after Elvis in concert appeared on TV, and was followed by so many different movies, and you know, This Is Elvis was one of the first biographical films, and Elvis, starring Kurt Russell, directed by John Carpenter, who has become one of the most famous directors of all time now. One of his earliest movies was a biopic about Elvis. Books like Elvis, What Happened, and Elvis and Me, Priscilla's book, and Me and a Guy Named Elvis, Jerry Schilling's book, and Albert Goldman's Elvis, have all informed the way that our culture views a very highly misunderstood man. As I was kind of saying with the 68 Comeback Special album, there's not much I hold sacred about Elvis. I guess there was a point, and maybe one day I'll post it, there was a point when I was a younger fan where I was really into the imagery, and I liked how putting on even something that made me feel like I was closer to Elvis made me feel cool, made me feel like I could do anything. And as much as the world has picked on Elvis fans, and especially hardcore ones like Elvis impersonators, I see where they come from. And I'm not really an impersonator fan, but when you put on a pair of sunglasses, and you put on a wig, and you put on rings, and you put on a jumpsuit or a cape or a belt, it's like putting on like the Superman costume. It's like putting on, Batman cowl, and you become a thing. And so I get it, but it worries me that some people think that that's all there is. I became an Elvis fan when there was a time in my life when I was kind of I had friends, but I was still kind of I had a good supportive family. I had my mom, I had my brother, but Elvis's music gave me a direction. It gave me something to be interested in, something to be empowered by. It inspired me. And yeah, the imagery was part of that initially, but the more I grew, the less and less it became about the stuff and about the things. I don't have a lot of Elvis stuff. I've tried not to buy Elvis stuff. People buy me Elvis stuff, and I get upset with them for bringing me, chocolate tins that they've eaten all the chocolate from, but it has Elvis on, so they give it to me. Or, decks of cards, like playing cards and stuff. And there are some that I have, obviously, from when I was a kid. But most of it I've gotten rid of, or I've tried to just not get in the first place, because I think there's more to the man than the image. It's gotten me through some tough stuff. And you could say that about a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people say that about a lot of music. And I know a lot of people have their own Elvis story, and mine's no more important or less important than anybody else's. But I'm undertaking a project right now that I hope says what I wanted to say, and I hope that it is as well made as I want it to be. I'll maybe post some more about it, here in the coming weeks. But for as much as I don't like the imagery and the iconography and all that goes along with it, there's not a spiritual element to Elvis. There have been books that have been written that compare him to like Jesus. I've seen fans that have compared him to like Jesus. And that's frustrating as an Elvis fan, because I know there's more to him than that. I know there's more to the music than that. And I know I'm rambling, but I just kind of wanted to finally have my say about Elvis. And there was I've never been to Graceland. And there was a point in my life where I didn't want to go on, and despite the feelings I have for the imagery, and that my mind says, that's so illogical. When things were the worst that they could possibly be for me, I had my music playing, and there was this song that came on Walking in Memphis. It wasn't even Elvis. But there's that line. You know, Reverend Green will be glad to see you when you haven't got a prayer. You got a prayer in Memphis. And there's a song that Elvis sings that is on one of the other gospel albums, the one that isn't in this box set. It's a Roy Hamilton song called You'll Never Walk Alone. And hearing Walking in Memphis at the lowest point in my life, and hearing Elvis sing You'll Never Walk Alone, I felt like, you know, I wasn't alone. And I hope that my passion for his music, my knowledge that I have, comes across to you not from the point of view of like, oh my gosh, this guy likes Elvis so much, you know, what a weirdo. Because I've heard that. But I want people to know that it's not about the money, it's not about the house, it's not about the jumpsuits. It's about the music. And that's gotta mean something, right? So I hope you've enjoyed this. Sorry I've rambled. I haven't celebrated Elvis Week for a long time. And I'm glad that I could share this one with you guys. So, thanks. Thanks for joining me with this.